Hello there, guys. Welcome back to Younes Talks Football. Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. We got to clear our throats for this one. Still not clear. It is now, actually. Because what we have to get through in this video is just, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to start off with what we were meant to finish yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday's video was about Lavia, and we heard that he's out for the season. And I mean, I've done basically nearly a whole video about how ridiculous our situation is on a medical level and why players are getting setbacks after setback after setback. It's only Chelsea Football Club where I can come the next day and say the situation's got worse. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. So you know what? Without further ado, we're going to jump right in and I'm going to show you what's going on. I know all of you have heard, but I'm going to give you my opinion. Let's get right into it. It's unbelievable. Robert Sanchez and Trevor Chalobah didn't go on international duty and both are injured. Colwell and Chukwuemeka had small knocks and still find themselves out for an extended period of time. Basically, the injury list came out today. Chukwuemeka, injured, right? Colwell's on the list. Chalobah got added to the list. Sanchez got added to the list. We're like, what is going on? What is going on? It's not normal. This is just not normal. This is ridiculous. Like, this is... You know when things start to just become a joke? Like, at this point, it's just like, listen, okay, look, this is not even, you know what? It's gone beyond a joke. You know, like normally you feel like you're being taken the mickey out of and then you laugh. It just gets hilarious. It's like, okay, now this is just funny. Like the next step after that is, okay, this has stopped being funny. Like this is not even a laugh any longer. Like this is, what's going on? We're hitting new levels of low. It's just ridiculous. Well, in relation to Chalobah, we have to be fair here. This is the latest in relation to Trev. Chalobah was undergoing rehabilitation program 6 hours ago. That has now been changed to partial team training on the Chelsea website. How do you get that wrong? How do you get that wrong? And look, Matisse, Nini were out at Cobham today. So shout out to them. And I hope they had a nice day out. It's funny. They're in my shoes last year because I went to team training when we had Graham Potter. I'd like to think that team training today was much better than what I saw under Graham Potter. So anyway, I'm sure the mood was definitely better as well. But Chalobah trained. Partial team training. That is actually true, right? The guys saw it, and there's content coming out in relation to their experience today. But partial team training is correct. Why was he put on the injury list then as undergoing rehabilitation program when he's on the grass? Man is on the grass. Partial team training. It's ridiculous, man. You see, it's those things that just makes you wonder. It just makes you think, like, things are so not aligned whatsoever. Like they're not even close. Like normally, you know, you might just about miss it, and one teeth might interlock with one, and you kind of got it a little bit off. You know, this is just like. It's just completely way over the head, missed completely. You know, it's like a boxer coming face to face with you, and instead of the punch coming like a graze over like your ear or something, like it's gone past, and you felt a little clip. Nah, this is not even put in your direction. This has gone like that way. It's bonkers. Anyway, Chalobah aside, he won't play on the weekend because clearly he's not going to be fit, and despite him training partially. I think that's a suggestion that it's not a serious injury, but he's not going to be ready for Saturday, surely. So, Chalobah will be out. But the big concern here, Chukwuemeka, who played for England, Chukwuemeka, who played the last game for Chelsea, right, scored. All of a sudden, after coming back from injury, we've been waiting for this guy to show up. Boom. setback, injured, on the injury list, undergoing rehab, again. Just as we talked about Lavia yesterday. Sanchez didn't even go on internationals, boom, injured. It's tiring. The whole thing is beyond tiring. Pochettino gave an update on another player. It doesn't end there. Check this out. Pochettino says he is surprised Chilwell played 2 games in a row for England. He is now a doubt for Saturday. This is where you know something's not right. How is he playing 2 games for England and playing and not coming off injured if all of a sudden he comes back to Chelsea, there's a problem? How has this happened? How is this happening? I don't understand. I don't get it. Because if there was any small inclination, he shouldn't have gone to the England team. Much like other players have dropped out of international duty. Chukwuemeka being one of them, he came back early. I don't understand. I don't know, man. This is a joke. This is a joke. The whole thing's a joke. And on top of that, Pochettino spoke about Lavia because he was asked questions in today's press conference, and rightfully so. And shout out to Rahman Osman, as well as I think a couple of others. But Rahman Osman did really nail it down. So quality, mate. Thank you very much for that. Pochettino came out and said this. Pochettino says Chelsea signed Lavia with problems from Southampton. This is where he says it's a really difficult situation and he's sad. He's only played 30 minutes after joining a new club. When the club signed him, he arrived with problems from Southampton. And then when he was ready, he suffered a problem in his feet. Pochettino adds Lavia had suffered hip, feet and quad injuries since joining. It's difficult to explain because I'm not a doctor. He arrived and I think he had a hip injury. Then he trained and suffered a knock in his feet. Then he got a quad injury against Crystal Palace. What in the blue hell is going on? This is where I don't have words anymore. I don't know what to say. I have to start saying I prefer not to speak. This is what it's coming to. This is crazy. And I don't understand. This whole thing, he arrived from Southampton with a problem. We clarified yesterday that he played 2,231 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, for Southampton, the most of any under-20 player in the division that season. Comes to Chelsea, he's played 31 minutes. 32. Same difference. It's bonkers. So if you arrived from Southampton with a problem, which I have to be honest, I'm not buying. We've just clarified the minutes that he had at Southampton. He finished the season and he finished strong. How has he arrived to Chelsea with a problem and no one knew about it until today? What's going on? All of a sudden he came with a problem. I'm not really buying it. But for devil's advocate and for, giving benefit of the doubt, let's say he did come to Chelsea with a problem. How in the blue hell did he pass a medical? If the problem was that bad, how is he passing a medical when we've got to pay that much money for him? So regardless of what way you want to look at it, if he didn't have a problem and he's suffered all these injuries at Chelsea, well, something's wrong at Chelsea. If he arrived to Chelsea with a problem and the medical team passed him through his medical, he's just come in and out for a 5-minute appointment, a little checkup, can we just take a little blood test? And, nice one, it's on your way, see you later. If we've done that for a medical, then again, the problem is still with Chelsea. Something is wrong here with us. It's us. Something is wrong internally. It's internal. And when you're looking to Lavia, and this is a point that Pochettino made in the press conference, and I've got to be fair to him, he's got a point. Lavia's not really trained with Pochettino. So it's not his methods that have done him the damage here. Something else is at play. Makes sense. Now, I do think maybe Poch's training methods have had a part to play in other players' sagas and injuries. Much like we've heard what his methodology was at Tottenham, at PSG, at Southampton. I saw Ricky Lambert's comments from his time at Southampton talking about Pochettino, saying that he went to Pochettino once and he tried to tell him, listen, we might have to bring the running a little bit down because this is getting a bit too much. We can't keep up. Pochettino agreed and went, yeah, okay, no problem. Next day, got them running more, and Lambert found it funny. So It goes to show. Maybe Poch can be a little bit extreme in terms of his training methodology, but that's not the be-all and end-all. There's something else happening here. And I'd like to think that the structure from within is completely wrong. I think medically, this team that's been assembled, if it has even been assembled, if we've got a bunch of coconuts running this team, I don't know, running this medical department, but something is off. Something is completely wrong. And I echo some of the comments that were going around on socials earlier on, saying that, you know what, the complete reshuffle in staff all of a sudden has definitely had a part to play in the instability that we're suffering at the moment. Of course it has. We changed everything from head to toe in 5 minutes. And we don't have an in and out proper medical team at the club. We just don't. So it's bonkers. This whole saga is just absolutely ridiculous. So I'll give you the preview for the game tomorrow. Chelsea versus Burnley. I still expect us to win, but I will address who's available, who's not. We've already known exactly from today who's not going to be there for sure. But make sure you're tuning in tomorrow as I give you my thoughts and prediction for the game on Saturday, Chelsea versus Burnley. Right. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let's move to... look, there was a story that came out today, and I found it hilarious because we've already addressed this, and I don't know why it's come out. Mike Keegan from the Daily Mail. I don't know if you've been in a cave, but yeah, this came out a little while ago, mate. And then he quoted Matt Law, who was the one who mentioned it. I don't know what the point of the article was. Check this out. Chelsea will appoint a new chairman in 2027 to replace Todd Boehly. And then went on to say Matt Law reported this a short while ago. It's an agreement within the ownership. This is CFC Daily, but it was in fact mentioned, and Mike Keegan did give the credit to Matt Law. But I don't understand what the point of this is then. We know this. And this created a little bit of a crazy rumour mill when this came out. Other pages, non-Chelsea, were going, oh my God, Todd Boehly's not going to be chairman. Oh my, what's happening? Nothing. Pedadek Bali's going to be the next one, don't worry. We've known this. 5 years for Boehly, 5 years for Igbali. This was agreed when they came in and they became the new owners of the football club. This was an agreement that was in place. Todd Boehly takes 5 years, Igbali takes 5 years. Now, you have to ask yourself, we want long-term stability, right? Why are we playing flipping musical chairs with the chairman role? Why are we doing that? If we want long-term stability, why are we changing the chairman? Why are we giving it from one owner to another owner? Why? I'm sorry, I have to be honest here. You know me, I speak my mind. I think that it's plain and clear as day that it means that financially, one's going to pick up 20 million a year for 5 years and the other's going to pick up 20 million for 5 years, whilst in that 10-year period, they're not allowed to take any dividends out from the club. It's a loophole. It's a loophole to be counted as an employee, despite being the owner, but you've got a role that you're now generating a salary for. Now, this is the only thing that makes sense to me. Nothing else makes sense. Why would you agree in advance for one guy to be the chairman for 5 years and the next guy to be a chairman for 5 years? What happens after the 5 years? Like, do we get Wiss's grandson to be the chairman or something? Like, what's going on here? Anyway, that's my opinion, and doesn't make any sense. Does make sense financially. 20 million a year for 5 years each. Loophole. Let's move before we wrap the video and we get to the end. Chelsea women, big up Chelsea women. I have to take a moment here. Chelsea women, Chelsea women. Man. You ladies, you are the ones that are holding this badge somewhat still in a valid place. You're the ones that are still like keeping it somewhat high. Big up to the Chelsea women. Currently still in 4 competitions. They are, if I'm not mistaken, you know what? I'm going to get this up because it deserves. It absolutely deserves it. Here we go. So they are, let me show you actually. Currently top of the Women's Super League, the WSL. The Premiership, basically. Semi-final of the Champions League, semi-final of the FA Cup, and they are finalists of the Women's Super League Cup, the League Cup, basically, the Conti Cup. Unbelievable. Brilliant. Very, very, very happy for them. And listen, I hope that they go all the way. Let's get the quadruple. It's doable. With Emma Hayes at the helm, look, top of the league, semi-final, and a final, this can really be done. It's not going to be easy, but it can be done. But there's one issue here, and it means... who are they going to play in the Champions League semi-final? Of course, it could only be one team. It could, because when Chelsea get to a semi-final in Europe, it's got to be these lot. It's got to be. We have to cross paths, whether we like it or not. It's Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final, and this is going to be really difficult. You remember the final between us and them, and Barca won 4-1. I did a watch-along for that. The first and only women's game that I've done a watch-along for on this channel, and we got battered 4-1. But I'd like to think that this time around, we've actually got a better chance. And I'm honestly looking at this and thinking over 2 legs, there is a big possibility Chelsea can get the job done. So I'm looking forward to this. And you know what? I might actually, I think right now we got to try and bring some sort of positive vibe. You have to. And it's the women that's bringing it. So you know what? As a consequence of that, I think I'm going to do watch-alongs for these semi-finals. I'll find out when they are, and if I'm going to be able to fit it in, I will, and I'll do watch-alongs for both of these semi-finals and give these women the credit that they deserve because they've been absolutely brilliant. And Emma Hayes is leaving, so it's only right. So that's the women. Big up to them. And in other news, before we call an end, this from Newcastle. Crazy stuff. Breaking news, Newcastle's Sandro Tonali, previously banned for 10 months due to betting infractions during his time in Italy, is now facing 50 charges from the FA for betting activities earlier this season. Okay, listen, clearly he's got a problem. Clearly, mate, you are addicted, and there needs to be something done on that front. But I saw a clip earlier on, and I don't know what game it was, but it was him playing for Newcastle. I think he was meant to be subbed off. He was being subbed off and he refused to come off the pitch. And he was waiting for the yellow card. Referee gave him the yellow and then he walked off the pitch, shook hands with Eddie Howe, happy as a coconut. Lovely jubbly, smile on his face. Nice, I'll go to my bench. Why? You got to ask yourself why. When you see things like that, you put 2 and 2 together and it makes 4. You got to ask why. Of course, it looks intentional, man. It looks like he was waiting for that yellow card. In his head, he's like, yes, I've got that yellow. Fantastic. That's 100k coming my way. That's probably what's happened, right? And I don't understand why. Because, look, if he's addicted, and I get that. But you don't need to be a gambler when you're at that level. You just don't. It's just not necessary. You know what I mean? Like, and especially, look, if you're going to gamble, go and gamble on horses. Why are you gambling in the sport that you're on? Go and hook up with Sir Alex Ferguson and try and get his horse to win races for you or do something. Why are you betting in the sport when you know it's illegal? You're not allowed to. It's just, and look, he was already in trouble in Italy, came to Newcastle, we heard what happened, he's been suspended, he can't play, and then there's this. Crazy. 50 times as well. That's a big problem. So Tonali facing big issues here, and AC Milan knew what they were doing. I'm going to end it there. Fair play, AC Milan. Fair play. I look at AC Milan and I call them the Italian Chelsea. I do. Tomori, Loftus-Cheek, Giroud, Pulisic. Mate, it's Chelsea. So, big up to AC Milan. I might have to get an AC Milan kit. We'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And I will catch all of you tomorrow. Don't forget, for the preview to Chelsea versus Burnley, we'll get into the detail. And welcome back, Club Football. Watch along on Saturday. Of course, we will be here to go through the motions again. And we'll see what happens. I'll catch all of you then. Thank you all so much. See you tomorrow, people. Have a good one. Take care. And peace.